welcome to Tech Tip Tuesday, where today we are focusing on Screencastify. So first of all, before we get into any of this, please know that this is not a basic tutorial on just how to start using Screencastify. There are plenty of other videos out there for that. What we are focusing on this video are three main things. The first thing is just specific things that you can do with Screencastify, and there are a lot. We're just going to talk about a few of them. Number two, we're going to talk about Screencastify organization and kind of how to use this very seamlessly with Google Classroom. And then number three, we are going to talk about the editing tool. So if you don't want to watch this whole video and you just want to skip ahead to a specific point, I'm going to put a timestamp somewhere around here so you can hop ahead to something else. All right, so starting off, Screencastify can be used for so many different things. That is why I love this tool. It's very versatile. I love it when we can learn how to use these different tools that can offer a lot of different things rather than just kind of having one thing. This Screencastify, you can do a lot of stuff with it. So a couple things you can do with it. Number one, and one thing that I use it for quite a bit is narrating Google Slides. So I can create a Google Slides and then make a screencast of my screen. So I'm recording my screen and I'm recording my voice and maybe even inserting my image in there to create a video lesson from my Google Slides. This is great for if you have remote learners. This is also great for if you have students who are absent. It's great for you if you have students who don't really pay the greatest attention in class. I know nobody has those, but it's nice to have that maybe as a refresher for that student so they can get back on and see what you talked about in class one day. You can also use Screencastify to create a read aloud. This is one thing I like with it too. I have a book that I put into a Google Slides, although you could use like a PDF. You could scan the pages and kind of just use it that way. You could probably find, there's often a lot of books you can find in PDF format online. So you can create a read aloud to share with your students. Again, if you're teaching with remote or if you just want to have that kind of resource available for your students, but it's a nice thing to have. You can use Google Classroom in association with Google Jamboard or another whiteboard app to create lessons where you are teaching maybe a math concept or drawing something out for science, or even maybe language arts where you're writing out a sentence and finding certain parts of speech. So you can use it with these whiteboard apps. That makes for a really great, almost virtual lesson. You can also use Screencastify just to create screencasts where you're teaching or demonstrating a website or a technology tool. So say I wanted to teach my students how to create a Google site and make a website for a digital portfolio. I can create a screencast where I walk them through all the different tools and tips and tricks with this, kind of like how I'm doing right now, but I can do this for my students so they have that as a resource for them while they're working on their project. In addition to this type of thing, though, you can also use Screencastify in a sort of flipped way. You can actually teach your students how to use Screencastify, and then they can make their own screencasts where they are presenting a Google Slides, or maybe doing a read aloud to practice fluency, or to perform fluency for a performance assessment, or maybe where they're teaching how to do something using Google Jamboard. So you students can do it too in order to kind of flip it around and allow them to be the teacher and kind of do it in that format as well. Lastly, you can use Screencastify to create a actual just video of yourself. So maybe I want to create a video of me teaching with the whiteboard in my classroom, or I want to create a video of me doing a science experiment. You can use that. And when we talk about the editing tool, we'll talk a little bit more about why that could be useful. But you can also just do it as a video creation. So the second thing we're going to cover is organization. So Screencastify is a extension for Google Chrome, so as a browser. So you can't be using Screencastify with say Explorer or Safari or Firefox. You have to be in Google Chrome because that's what it works with. The nice thing is because it's with Google Chrome, it connects with all of your Google apps. So as long as you are logged into your Google account when you're using this on Chrome, everything that you create in Screencastify is going to be filtered into your Google Drive. So since I've created a Screencastify account, I've gone through, I've clicked on my little icon, I've picked out all the stuff I want to do, and I've made my video. Every video I create is going to hop is going to be dropped into this Screencastify folder on my Google Drive. And so it's really easy to access then and to pop those videos right into my Google Classroom. So when I go to make an announcement, or maybe I'm going to put this in with an assignment or a material for a specific topic in a class, anytime in Classroom when I click on this add button and Google Drive, I can find my videos. Of course, it's going to show you stuff in the most recent, from most recent on. So if it was something I made super recently, it will show up here, or I can just click on my drive and then click on Screencastify, and it's going to show me all my videos in that folder there too. So it's super nice how it's organized, and it makes it very seamless for adding these things to your classroom right away without having to download them or upload them or find them somewhere. They're all just right there already. So it's a very nice, organized way to do video. So the last thing we're going to talk about in this video is the Screencastify editing tool. Now, in order to get to the editing tool, you just need to be viewing one of the videos you've made. So whether you have just recorded a video, or you want to go into your recordings and get to your videos, you can get there either way. But the moment, just so you know, the moment you finish of creating this video in Screencastify, it's going to open it up in this viewer here. And right away, you'll kind of notice there are some things you can do to edit this video here. I can click and drag these little scissors to trim my video. So maybe I mess up a little bit at the beginning, or I mess up a little bit at the end. I can trim it right here and fix the video through the trim. However, a lot of times that trim isn't enough and I want to edit it more. So if I click on Open in Editor, it's going to take a moment to load my video in the editor. And here's where I can do a lot more things. And this is why it's useful to use Screencastify to make the video with just this video feed and not always use a screencast, because this is a very simple, easy to use video editing tool. There's far more complicated things out there you can do. Like I'm using WeVideo right now to edit this video, but I like to edit videos and I do this a lot, so I use these kinds of things a lot. However, if you just need this for something easy and simple and quick, this is the editor you want to be using. So in Screencastify, when I open up this editor, I have a bunch of options down here at the bottom. So I can cut my video, I can crop my video, I can make it zoom in to certain areas, I can add text, and then over here on the far right hand side, I can actually add another clip to my video. And then this here is just a zoom in and zoom out, so I can kind of see things bigger or smaller in terms of the timeline, which is down here at the bottom. So first of all, I can show how to cut it. So let's say I mess up somewhere in the middle of the video and I just want to cut out this little segment in the middle. I'm just going to click on the video and make sure my cursor, which is this vertical line here, is in the right spot. And then click on the scissors and it's going to cut my video right there. And then I know, okay, somewhere down the road, we'll say right about here, I need to cut it again. And anytime to do these things, I have to make sure my video clip is highlighted. So it's got this yellow border. I'm going to click the scissors again, and now I've got this little chunk here in the middle I just want to get rid of, so I'll click delete. I can also crop it. So this is my whole screen, and we'll say maybe I don't really want people to know what time and day I'm editing this video. So if I click on the crop tool, I can draw a rectangle to crop. So I'm going to crop it so it doesn't show this bottom bar of my screen, and just click done. And so now it's kind of cut that out of the video. So that's kind of a nice thing. You can also have it zoom into something. So, and this is showing me at kind of what point in time it's going to zoom in. So we'll say maybe I wanted it just to zoom into this, little section right here. And so I can click that to make it zoom. And then here we'll kind of let you see kind of how that works. So it's sort of zoomed in, and then it will zoom out when it's done with this little section. So that's kind of a nice way to maybe highlight something that you're showing in your video. You can also add text. So right here where it says add text, I click on that and you can kind of see again, it's adding this little bit of information to my timeline. And I can make this longer or shorter. This is showing me the length of time this text is going to show. And it just says to write something, so I'll just write test text. I can change some of the things in terms of my the look of my text. I can change the position of it. It doesn't really give you a ton of options in terms of formatting, but there is enough to kind of just do basic text. So you can add maybe a title, maybe you want to add a label somewhere, maybe you want to add a little extra bit of details or information. You can add that here through the text tool. Lastly, you can add another video clip. So if I click add clip, I can click Google Drive, and maybe I made a screencast yesterday that I want to insert in with this one, so I can do that. Or maybe I made a video with some other source that I want to insert here, so I can add those as a clip into this, which I'm not going to add something, but you can add an additional video clip here. When you're finished, you click on export. It allows you to export it as an MP4, which you would download, or you can export right to Google Drive, which is typically what I would do because I like keeping all these things in that Screencastify folder, my Google Drive, and then it's just there for me to add to Google Classroom later. All right, so those are all the tips for Screencastify that I'm going to be sharing today. Hopefully this kind of helps you take this app or this tool and use it in a lot more efficient way. I mean, kind of go beyond what you can just basically do with Screencastify and realize that this is a tool that you can do a lot with. Whether we're teaching remotely, whether we're teaching in person, there's a lot you can do with it. So good luck. Always let me know if there's other tools you would like me to highlight in these videos, or if there's other tips and tricks you have for Screencastify, let me know that as well. Thank you so much and have a great day.